The sound of ancient chants echoes across the city as dawn breaks over Babylon. It's 586 BC, and this is the most powerful empire on Earth. Picture yourself standing at a window overlooking the Euphrates River. The water reflects golden sunlight as it flows through the heart of this massive city. You're a merchant here, and what you're witnessing is history at its absolute peak. Babylon isn't just big, it's unimaginable. 500,000 people packed inside walls so thick that 4 horse-drawn chariots can race side by side along the top. Think about that scale for a moment. The streets below are already buzzing with activity. Water carriers balance heavy jars on their shoulders. The smell of fresh bread drifts from bakery ovens. But then you notice something that stops you cold, a line of prisoners shuffling past in chains. These are Jewish captives, brought here after Nebuchadnezzar's army completely obliterated Jerusalem just months ago. Their temple? Destroyed. Their city? Burned to the ground. Now they're here, building monuments to Babylon's glory while mourning everything they've lost. This moment right here, this is what absolute imperial power looks like. But here's what nobody in Babylon knows yet. Their own reckoning is coming. By mid-morning, you've made your way to the processional way, basically ancient Babylon's version of Fifth Avenue, except infinitely more impressive. And then you see it. The Ishtar Gate rises before you like something out of a fever dream. We're talking walls covered in brilliant blue glazed bricks, decorated with golden bulls and dragons that seem to pulse with life when the sun hits them just right. This isn't just architecture. This is a statement that says, we own the world. Walk through that gate, and you enter the sacred precinct. That massive structure dominating the skyline, that's the Ziggurat of Marduk. 300 feet of stepped pyramid reaching toward the heavens. Some foreigners call it the Tower of Babel, but here it's known by its true name, Etemenanke, the foundation of heaven and earth. Every single day, priests climb those stairs carrying offerings to Marduk, the god who supposedly made Babylon master of everything you can see. But here's what really blows your mind, the diversity. Egyptian merchants selling papyrus and fine linen. Persian traders displaying carpets that took months to weave. Phoenician sailors unloading precious purple dye and cedar wood from Lebanon. This is where literally all roads lead. This is the center of the known world. And if you're standing here in 586 BC, it feels like this moment will last forever.
Welcome to the chaos. The great market near the Euphrates docks is like nothing you've ever experienced. The noise alone is overwhelming. Merchants shouting prices in Akkadian, Aramaic, Hebrew, Egyptian. It's like an ancient version of the New York Stock Exchange, except the stakes are survival and the commodity is everything. The smells hit you in waves. Exotic spices from India, dried fish from the Persian Gulf, animal hides, human sweat. This is raw, unfiltered commerce, the lifeblood of an empire flowing through thousands of daily transactions. And here's something that would absolutely shock modern people. Scribes sitting cross-legged on the ground, pressing wedge-shaped marks into soft clay tablets. They're recording contracts, business deals, property transfers. These clay tablets, they'll last for millennia. The businesses they're recording, gone within decades. You see farmers selling dates and barley, the staples that keep this city alive. Craftsmen displaying bronze tools that represent the cutting edge of technology. And then, uncomfortably, there are the slave traders with their human merchandise chained in the shade. But check this out. Over there, a stall selling astronomical tablets. Babylonian priests are the world's best astronomers. They can predict eclipses with terrifying accuracy. They track planetary movements that won't be matched in precision for another 1,000 years. This knowledge isn't just academic. It's power. The ability to predict an eclipse can make kings bow and fill temple treasuries with gold. As the afternoon heat becomes almost unbearable, you make your way past the palace complex, and suddenly, paradise. The hanging gardens cascade down in terraced levels like something that shouldn't exist in the middle of a desert. Water flows through channels carved into stone, defying gravity as it feeds plants from every corner of the known world. Legend says King Nebuchadnezzar built this for his wife, a Median princess who missed the green mountains of her homeland. Whether that's true or not, the message is crystal clear. Only Babylon can create paradise in the desert. Only Babylon can make water flow upward. Only Babylon can bend the laws of nature to imperial will. But here's what makes this moment darker. You think back to those Jewish captives you saw this morning. They're prophets, the ones who survived the destruction of Jerusalem. They're speaking in whispers about Babylon's future. Standing here among these impossible gardens, such predictions seem laughable. Babylon is eternal. Babylon is invincible, right? As evening approaches, something shifts in the city's atmosphere. You start hearing whispers, the kind that make empires nervous. Word on the street is that priests have been consulting omens, and they're not liking what they're finding. King Nebuchadnezzar himself has been having dark dreams, visions so disturbing that even his best interpreters are struggling to make sense of them. In the taverns, over cups of beer, men speak in hushed tones about a kingdom rising in the east. Persia, led by an ambitious king named Cyrus who's been quietly building an army that nobody's taking seriously enough. But honestly, these concerns feel premature, almost paranoid. You walk along Babylon's defensive walls, and the sheer scale makes any threat seem impossible. These walls are 40 feet thick, 40 feet. They rise 300 feet into the air, and they're double-layered, with enough space between them that 4 horses can gallop side by side. Plus, the Euphrates River itself flows directly through the city, protected by massive bronze gates that can be lowered underwater to seal off any water-based invasion. What army in history could possibly breach this? Babylon conquered Egypt. Babylon destroyed Jerusalem. Babylon holds the entire known world in its grip. The idea of this empire falling seems impossible. Night falls over Babylon, and the transformation is breathtaking. The Ziggurat of Marduk becomes a beacon, sacred fires burning at its summit, visible from every corner of the city. Priests perform rituals that are older than memory itself, maintaining what they believe is a covenant between gods and civilization. You make your way home to the Canal District. Your wife has prepared the evening meal, fresh bread, onions, dates, and beer. Simple food, but you're not complaining. You're not wealthy, but you're not starving either. That's the Babylonian promise: stability, order, a place for everyone in the grand design. Your children sleep on reed mats in the corner. Tomorrow you'll be back in the markets, making deals, moving merchandise. The caravans will arrive as they always do. Business will continue as it always has. Through your window, you can see the palace of Nebuchadnezzar blazing with torchlight. Right now, in that throne room, the king is receiving tribute from subject nations. Gold, silver, precious stones flowing endlessly into the imperial treasury. His armies haven't lost a major battle in decades. His gods seem to favor him above all others. If you could somehow see 50 years into the future, you'd witness something that would shatter everything you believe about permanence and power. But tonight, Babylon feels eternal. You lie in bed, listening to Babylon's night sounds. A dog barks somewhere in the distance. Guard patrols walk the walls above. The Euphrates whispers against the stone quays. Everything is exactly as it should be. Everything is exactly as it has always been. But here's what you don't know, what nobody in this city knows tonight. In exactly 53 years, a Persian army under Cyrus the Great will do something unprecedented. They'll divert the Euphrates River upstream, dropping its water level enough for soldiers to march through the riverbed under those impenetrable walls. While Babylon celebrates a festival, convinced of its own invincibility, enemy troops will flood through the waterway and capture the city almost without resistance. Those blue tiles of the Ishtar Gate that seem so permanent, they'll be stripped away. The hanging gardens will fall into ruin. Eventually, even the location will be forgotten. Alexander the Great himself will die in Nebuchadnezzar's palace centuries from now. And after him, something even worse than conquest will happen: abandonment. People will simply drift away. The temples will fall silent. The great city will become mounds of dirt and broken brick, buried under sand for 2,000 years. Future archaeologists will dig through layers of debris, piecing together fragments of this world, completely amazed that such magnificence could be so thoroughly forgotten. But tonight, this specific night in 586 BC, none of that has happened yet. Tonight, Babylon is still the center of everything, still powerful, still eternal. The greatest city on earth breathes quietly in the darkness, completely unaware that history is already writing its ending. Because that's the thing about empires. They always feel permanent until the moment they're not. If you're enjoying these journeys into forgotten moments, make sure you're subscribed. There are more stories like this waiting to be told.